I'm not waiting for a text. This is where I keep my notes. So. I'm here to talk to you about my family. I'm from Baltimore. I don't know if anyone knows Baltimore. The best examples are The Wire and John Waters. They're like, that's so cool. And I'm like, have you seen those shows? Do you want to live there? No. Yeah, my family was very blue collar. Like with my aunts and uncles and my dad's side of the family, it was like, you know, a fireman and an army guy and a nurse. And then there was my Uncle Ricky. I really liked my Uncle Ricky. He was the outcast of the family. And I loved that because it meant that I was not the outcast of the family. You know, like one Christmas, I was like bringing my boyfriend home. And I was like, oh my God, what is everyone's going to freak out? That's going to be like drama. And Uncle Ricky brought home an HIV-positive prostitute addicted to heroin. Thanks, Uncle Ricky. No one gave a shit. Dude, I was like a whole smoker. They're like too busy like hiding their jewelry. Like, get the kids to bed. Yeah, Uncle Ricky, he had weird friends, mostly because he worked on the block. And I don't know if you've watched The Wire, I'm sure that's come up a few times. The block is, back in the 20s, there was old burlesque districts, you know, where they would, you know, the women would kind of be like, that kind of stuff. And then over time, it just turned into strip clubs. And in Baltimore, that old burlesque district is still just a bunch of strip clubs, and it's called The Block. And my uncle ran away from home at 17, and he eventually started working down in a place called Heaven. And he ended up becoming the bouncer. That was the first family member I saw on TV. So they were like, doing an expose on the block. And there's one of those camera spreads, and there's my uncle. Like, it's Uncle Ricky! It's Uncle Ricky! And I was like, just turn the TV. You know, my mom wasn't very happy about all that stuff. She told me the first time she met my cousin Todd's mom was, he's like, oh, I want you to meet my fiance. Come on down to Heaven. Like, okay, so my dad and him went down to Heaven, and they got a drink. She's like, do we have to stay here? Can we just go and like, you know, let's just go meet your fiance. Coming up, Barbaric Barbara. And then out comes Uncle Ricky's fiance, in a full, like, kind of jungle, poison ivy type of thing, and just starts working the pole. And my mom, he's like, that's my fiance! Grab your baby! And so my mom and my dad are like, oh, great, okay, fabulous. I mean, he didn't make a lot of good life choices, I guess you could say, but they were really fun choices, you know? Yeah, he dated this other woman named Faith, and she was a stripper with a heart of gold. And by gold, I mean gross, because she was like, she was just a wreck. She had way too many tattoos, and like her hair just looked like she just gave up. And yeah, she ended up stealing his car and driving to Texas. It was just bad news. And he also, his version of a 401k was called playing the lottery every day. He would be like, it's an investment. It's an investment. I invest into it every day. And my family's like, it's not an investment because you don't have any money. But you know what? He fooled everybody. Because he won the fucking lottery. And guess what he fucking did? He bought Heaven. He fucking bought the strip club that he worked at. And he became this godsend. He's like, I'm giving all of you health care. They're like, he's like, no sex in the champagne room. They're like, and he actually like turned his entire life around. It was crazy. Like he became like the Santa Claus. He was like bringing crazy presents to everyone on Christmas. There were no more crazy prostitutes. It was like presents, and you know, and he would just buy trips for everyone. And he like totally, like you just thought that he was going to go down this horrible path, and he ended up pulling it together. And eventually he ended up going on a trip to Bermuda, and he was riding a scooter, and he got hit by a car. And that's when we lost my Uncle Ricky, which is very sad, but he lived such a crazy, productive life, and the funeral was amazing. Seriously, I was a pallbearer, and it was my family and every fucking stripper on the block. Like, they all wore black, but it was like black up to here, and like lace, and and like they were throwing themselves on the coffins, and they were just like, "Wah!" I was like, you know, stripper after stripper, like double teaming it on the coffins, and I was over. I'm like, all right, go for it, you know, have fun. And it was just a crazy scene. And but as I said, you know, he lived a crazy life. Like in his short, like 45 years, he lived like 90 years. And I have to respect that, especially because now I'm the outcast. And I am following in his footsteps, because being in LA, I could not find a job for the life of me, and I finally found a job editing porn.